There's a saying in the Gurdjieff work and the fourth way that the teachings give one leather. And once you receive this leather, you can do what you like with it. But there's advice in many of the canonical books that one should make shoes with which to traverse the world in. And so I'm going to expand this metaphor out now for you and show you how helpful the work teachings can be, and of course your own experiments and observations and verification of the ideas can go to make the shoes that you make with your leather more and more sturdy until the point where the world can't impact you at all. And so let me expand this metaphor out. In Buddhism, the first noble truth is life is suffering. And Gurdjieff would probably agree with that, and he would put it in a different term. He would say that the world is full of sleeping mechanical people, automatons that are just affected by the external world. Input comes in, they have a mechanical reaction, and that causes them to behave in a certain way. And this is the whole world. I would argue, I don't even know whether we need to put a percentage on it, but if you've been interested in this work for many years, you've had conversations with people about this work, you will know, you will have verified for yourself how little interest there is in this Gurdjieff fourth way amongst the people that you know. And if that's you, I've had the same experience, and I imagine everyone has a similar experience, that these ideas aren't well adopted or well taken up. You will have verified that the world is full of sleeping automatons, machines, as Gurdjieff would say. And what can you hope from a machine? You can hope and expect mechanicalness. So this is the first thing. Life, I think Maurice Nicole says that life is sharp. And if you walk through it without the work, let's say you've never encountered any of the work ideas, you've never encountered self-observation, the different states of consciousness, man is asleep, and all of the other things, don't express negative emotions, identification and association, and considering all of these things, and you're just going through life without any spiritual practice and without any knowledge of the Gurdjieff work and fourth way, life is sharp. You'll stub your toe, you'll step on a sharp rock and injure your foot. Of course, this is all metaphorical, that we go through life, and the Buddha says life is suffering. The suffering begins and ends in the mind in Buddhism. And again, there's many similarities between the fourth way and the Buddhist tradition. And so then you find, let's say you discover, like I did, In Search of the Miraculous, or it could be any book, Views from the Real World, Meetings with Remarkable Men, or any of the other canonical texts of individuals who spent their time with Gurdjieff and documented an element of the teachings that Gurdjieff delivered to them, but also their experiences and their time spent with him. So now you've discovered a work textbook, you've begun studying and learning, and you received your first strip of leather. Don't express negative emotions. This is a way to navigate the world without just expressing all your negativity on the world, and by so doing, by keeping it within yourself, not saying not to experience it, not to sort of be fully present with it, but just not to express it. Then you've got your first little strip of leather. Now that's not enough to make a sturdy pair of sandals to begin with. And so you carry on with life. You've got this piece of leather, you don't know what to do with it. Then you learn another work idea and precept, maybe identification causes suffering. If you're identified too heavily with whatever it might be, any form of identification causes suffering. You learn this. You learn that you're very identified with your position at work or with a particular status hierarchy that you have in some organization or other. You notice that you're identified with that. Well, now you've got another strip of leather. And over time, as you continue to read the workbooks, you continue to experiment and verify these teachings for yourself. Now you've got lots of leather. The work has delivered unto you a lot of leather. And depending on your efforts, on your work, on your understanding, Gurdjieff would place significant emphasis on one's understanding. The more you understand why a certain thing occurs and why you're required to do a certain thing, your efforts are multiplied. And so let's say now you've got a whole load of leather. You've got enough leather so you make a very sturdy pair of sandals and you're feeling really good about yourself because now the everyday sharpness of life is subdued somewhat because you got your sandals on. So life doesn't get you like it used to. You can navigate life and you're not feeling as much suffering as you once did, but they're only sandals. And so you go through life, then all of a sudden you have an interaction, receive an impression which triggers you to act mechanically and causes you a great deal of suffering. And in a sense, to continue the metaphor, you've stubbed your toe. You're not feeling the sharpness of everyday stuff, but you've kicked a rock, the side of the table, a sturdy wooden chair. You've hurt your toe, and again, you've awoken to life. Life has caused you to realize its impermanence, the suffering consisted of, and also the mechanical nature of everyone around us. So then you think, oh, I've been resting on my laurels. I've been taking things for granted. I got enough leather to make a nice pair of sandals, and I thought I've got to the end. I am enlightened. I've cracked it. I know everything, but you'll have a certain experience or two that will cause you to wake up. It will force you to awake and cause suffering. So you go back to the books, you go back to your studies, you go back to your experimentation, you verify more things, and then you receive more and more leather until, again, I could continue the metaphor for a long time, but until you have enough to build a very sturdy pair of boots, and this would be considered, to go back to the textbooks, man number 4, 5, and 6, and the Buddha says, after the Four Noble Truths, the eightfold path of Buddhism, you achieve enlightenment. And Gurdjieff would say that one awakens, you experience objective consciousness, so that you see life in an objective sense. There's no subjectivity to it. There's no desires and fears. There's no good, bad. There's no like, dislike. You just observe the world as it is. Vipassana, it would be called in certain Buddhist texts and certain Buddhist traditions. And so you've got your sturdy boots. Life can be sharp. Life can be full of suffering. Life can be full of automatic sleeping machines, but it won't affect you because you've got your sturdy boots on. And so that's what I wanted to share with you today, this analogy that you can find in many of the canonical workbooks, that this teaching, the work, the fourth way, delivers unto one a certain amount of leather, depending on one's efforts, how deeply you study, how aware you are in your life, and how many experiments and verifications you do. But over time, you will receive enough leather in order to make sturdy shoes, and this will allow you to navigate life. And now, just quickly before I conclude the video, now imagine another individual who's receiving all that leather, but for some reason they don't understand that be the change you wish to see in the world, as Gandhi would say, and they're trying to change the world. They haven't really done anything on themselves. They haven't got their sandals or their shoes or their boots on yet, and they're going around sticking their leather all over life because they know life's sharp, they know life is suffering, and so they've decided that they're gonna put their leather all over the sharpness of life and try and soften some of the sharp points around their lives. And again, to continue this metaphor, you can see how that's not going to work, because you only receive a certain number of pieces of leather, and if you're plastering them all over your surrounding environment, for one, you won't have enough left for your shoes, and you will never be able to cover the world with the leather you receive from this work. But what you can do is build yourself a sturdy pair of shoes. So I hope that inspires you to get back to the books, back to your studies, but more importantly, to explore this world, explore your interactions with the world, see how mechanically you react, see how you have these habitual tendencies, and how very little and rarely you actually awaken to the inner witness, the observing eye, the master, the soul. But it's there, it's awaiting your contact. And once you do, again, you can start to see life more objectively. You can go and explore life in your sturdy boots and not be affected by the suffering, the mechanicalness, and the automaticity of the machines around you.